Iran's oil minister says the country has sold $18 billion worth of oil since the start of the war, despite international sanctions. Mohsen Paknejad said Iran sold $6.5 billion worth of crude during the ceasefire. He added the sales have already generated more than 60% of the oil revenue Tehran forecast for the year. All right, let's bring in our guest now, Michael Mulroy. He's a former US Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence for the Middle East and a retired CIA paramilitary operations officer. He joins us today from Whitefish, Montana. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Mulroy. Iran's announcement of those billions of dollars in profits, do you think that's going to prompt a rethink of the US strategy here?
So, Anna, I'm not sure that was a good idea, to be frank, to highlight that. If the U.S. believes it's accurate, I think they're going to put the intelligence community to find out how this is actually happening. We know during the ceasefire, they gave a license for them to basically sell their oil despite the sanctions. But if it's still happening at that level, so as you said, if it's true, 60% of what they want for the year, then this economic isolation isn't working. So they would need to really look at how to make that noose tighten, if you will, that economic noose, in the sense that secondary sanctions need to be enforced. They need to find other assets to freeze. They need to find the IRGC's commercial infrastructure that exists around the world and do something to obstruct it, including sanctioning companies and countries that are supporting it. Or this is going to go on in perpetuity, because that is really the crux of this war right now. It's an economic war of attrition, both from the Iranian side, and the U.S. would like to make it also from the U.S. side.
Yeah, and they need some friends and allies to do that, won't they, the U.S.? We've heard frequently from Donald Trump that he feels that other countries, Europe and the like, should have stepped in. There are now reports that the IRGC is threatening Britain if it does support the U.S. Do you think that makes the U.S. mission even harder now to convince allies to help?
Well, that's the intent of the IRGC. I think they are concerned about this, massive, what the president calls massive strike potential that's coming. It's not just going to be the United States. It could also be Israel and several Gulf countries. But they really don't want to see European countries also join in. So this is kind of a shot across the bow, if you will, to them, that if they participate in any way or even provide support, that they would be on the list. If they actually did strike the UK or some of these European countries, they would make a big mistake, because then even though these countries didn't support the war in the first place, they have to defend themselves and their country and their service members. And of course, the oil embargo or the restriction on the Strait of Hormuz has caused hardship around the world, not just the United States. And they're responsible, the leaders of these countries are responsible for their people and what it's doing to them. So Iran could quickly see the world turn on them because of this strait that they right now believe is such a big leverage point.
Yeah, when we talk about needing friends and allies, the US has frequently said, I think that Donald Trump's last description of Israel, they would jump back in a heartbeat, a couple of minutes, he said. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to the US next week. Will Israel be trying to convince Donald Trump to ramp things up again, to re-enter full-scale war?
Quite possible. They certainly didn't like the memorandum of understanding, and their strategic objectives, they've already said, aren't met, and they include the collapse of the regime. So that's something that Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke to President Trump about before the war started and said it was possible, even though the intelligence community in the United States said it was very unlikely. And I think it's been proven that it was unlikely, because it hasn't happened. But I do think he would like to see this massive increase in strikes go ahead, and certainly Israel will be willing to join in and has a great amount of capability to add to that. So I imagine that's going to be part of the discussion, as well as this Pickaxe Mountain, which is a nuclear facility that the U.S. has grown increasingly concerned about, partly because of Israeli intelligence. If that's been validated by American intelligence, then this could also be a topic of discussion of how they could go about degrading or potentially destroying that facility.
This war and the edges of it have continued to spread, and I'm wondering if you think the conflict that now appears to be escalating between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia is going to give any pause to Israel or the US as to where to from here with their focus for their war objectives with Iran.
So, Anna, this does add another complicating factor. Both militarily, we have a military that is obviously focused on Iran and trying to open the strait. Now we'll likely have to target the Houthis, try to keep the Bab al-Mandab open. That adds about 4 to 5% of the world's energy supply. Then would have to spend millions of dollars in essentially weeks and weeks of additional time to go alternate routes. And about 25% of the container traffic travels through the Bab al-Mandab. So this is a big issue for not just the region, but the world. It is exactly what Iran thinks is its biggest leverage point. They can hold the world hostage, and they can make the pain even more, hoping that the world will then put pressure on the United States. The question then is, when does the world start putting a lot more pressure on Iran?